You can't take money and things and stuff with you when you go, just your soul. And you sold yours for what? Another gilded ballroom? Let me be perfectly clear when I say this. Charlie Kirk, he died free. You will most certainly die a slave.
Trump put out one of the most unhinged lunatic statements I've ever seen from him. And it was targeting what was once the heart, the core of, public facing, Make America Great Again movement. He targeted Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, and Alex Jones. And the things he said about them were honestly insane for literally anyone to say, let alone the president of the United States. I'm not going to read through all of this. I'm sure you've probably read through most of it yourself. But he said that Tucker Carlson wants Iran to have a nuclear weapon. He said that Tucker Carlson is low IQ, that he's a lost man. He's lost his mind after he was fired from Fox News for telling the truth about Ukraine and many other issues. He said that Candace Owens, he hopes that Brigitte Macron wins her lawsuit and wins lots of money against Candace Owens. He even said that Candace Owens he said that Brigitte Macron is far more beautiful than Candace Owens, and she's definitely not a man. He said horrible things about Alex Jones, low IQ, stupid people. No one cares about them. They're nut jobs. They can't be on the media anymore, the TV, because all Trump does is watch TV. He doesn't understand that podcasts and independent media, alternative media is literally more popular now. Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens go back and forth between having the number one show, podcast on the face of the earth. He doesn't understand this stuff. So he says stupid things like this. Candace Owens replied by telling President Trump that he belongs to the Epstein class and that MAGA is no longer commanded by him. Take a listen.
And you can't take money and things and stuff with you when you go, just your soul. And you sold yours for what? Another gilded ballroom? Let me be perfectly clear when I say this. Charlie Kirk, he died free. You will most certainly die a slave. Okay? You are in chains right now, and the entire world can see that perfectly. At best, what you can hope for in this moment is that maybe one day upon the college campuses that you so deeply cherish, they'll teach all about your now tarnished legacy as the perfect modern day example of Plato's allegory of the cave.
I don't think anyone could have said it better than Candace. I mean, that was just perfect. Literally, it's not just that these are people that made up his political movement. These were people who are loyal to him, who got him into the position where he's in today without him, without them, without Tucker, without Candace, without Marjorie Taylor Greene, without Alex Jones. Would Trump have been president? The answer is obviously no. And now, at a time when they're very critical of him over many things, over the handling of the Charlie Kirk investigation, over Epstein, over the inability to get a peace in Ukraine, over the kidnapping of President Maduro, over so many things and more that we could go on to list. But of course, chief among them, the war on Iran and the continued genocide in Gaza and the war on Lebanon and the war previously on Yemen. This is something that he just can't tolerate. He just can't handle anymore. He can't handle the negativity from the press because it is eating away at him. He knows he's a slave. And he just despises the fact that anyone would point it out, that his own friends would point it out. But the truth of the matter is, they're the people that have, they want him to succeed. They don't want him to be a slave. Now, there's plenty of people that point out that Trump is a slave. He is doing demonic stuff. He is, doing horrifying war crimes and just stripping all hope away from the free people of the world as he continues on this madman quest dictated to him by Benjamin Netanyahu. And there are a lot of people who say, well, yeah, I want him to fail. I hate Trump. I want him to fail. But the truth is, these are the people that want Trump to succeed. They don't want him to fail. They want him to succeed. They were his friends. They were his supporters. Tucker Carlson said, I've always liked Trump and still feel sorry for him, as I do for all slaves. He wrote a long statement here, basically explaining the massive amounts of pressure that are on Trump right now. and that's why he's lashing out. And, you know, he had a few funny jabs and points in here and whatnot. But I mean, he's basically chalking it up to the immense amount of pressure that's on Trump right now. And that, you know, he faces all number of threats, even, you know, the JFK scenario. So maybe we should give him a little slack, or not slack, but Tucker's not giving him slack, but understanding, I guess. Well, no, I don't understand. I don't give slack. I don't make deals with the devil. I don't support any of this. You know, I don't support any of this. And a man should be strong enough. A man should be strong like Ayatollah Khamenei. Khamenei was not able to be compromised. I could list other names. Syed, you could not compromise him. The general could not compromise him. You know what I'm talking about. There's people that cannot be compromised. And we are now living in a generation filled with many people who just don't have that foundation in their worldview and in their way of life. And of course, Trump is, you can't even put him anywhere close to those people. He's not even on the same planet as those people. It's just grotesque what we're witnessing. Alex Jones, before this attack, condemned Trump's genocidal threats against Iran when he said, I'm going to kill their civilization. Really good stuff from Alex. You know, he did not shy away. He said, President Trump has openly announced a plan to conduct the exact definition of genocide against the Iranian people. The madness must stop now. And yesterday, he came out and said this after the attacks against him.
I'll even return your phone calls, Trump. You know that. I didn't take your invites. I don't want to be around what you're involved in, buddy. You.
Goes on here. He says more.
You were the lesser of two evils. Then I'm going to show you how to cow eat the cabbage. Do one more thing. You should be kissing my ass. But instead, you shit all over me and rub it in. When I've gone through hell, I'll quickly throw you down the reactor shaft in 2 seconds. And just, hey, does Alex Jones bluff? No, I don't. You think I'm intimidated by you, Trump, the president of the United States? Think I'm intimidated by your hit teams? Have the straight. Yes, we're giving up. And that's why you'll have 5-6 times a day. And oh, we won. It's over. No, it's going to go on forever. Total destruction. I'll never let them have the straight. Yes, we're giving up the straight. I'm getting out of NATO. We're staying in NATO. And when you know people in early dementia, that is exactly what they do. And so I think we're dealing with the madness of King George III here. We're
dealing with terrorism, the likes of which that the world hasn't seen since Germany in World War II. That's what this is akin to. There's no other way to square what's happening right now. I mean, it is just horrifying. Opening the war, murdering 168 schoolgirls in an elementary school. That's how they open the war. Can you think of like any country that's done anything as sickening and disgusting and horrific as something like that on the opening day of a war? That's how they start off. You know, usually on the opening day of a war, we're like, oh, we're coming to liberate you. Please greet us with flowers. We went from February 28th we went from February 27th saying, free Iran. They're going to greet us with flowers and the protests will take over the government. To February 28th, yeah, we killed 168 schoolgirls in Manab Elementary School. So what? Now we're going to kill their whole civilization. Now, if you're wondering who wrote that insane tweet and who prompted Trump to write all this stuff about Alex Jones, Megyn Kelly, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, who used to be his biggest supporters and literally the faces of MAGA, it was none other than Larry Rasputin Loomer. Yes.
Tucker shit. But the president has had enough of Tucker shit. And yeah, I'm just going to admit it. I send the president Tucker Carlson's clips so he can see the shit that he says about him. I do. And I want that motherfucker, Tucker Carlson, to know that I'm the one who knifed him from the front.
I'm sorry, I can't show you her face. I did not put up a trigger warning. Sorry. I don't want to assume the gender, right? So Larry Loomer, it's talking about how it was the one that pressured Trump to send off this text to the whole world about how, you know, the real problem right now is not that he's a slave to Israel and there's, you know, still genocide ongoing in the south of Lebanon, Gaza. They're trying to Gazify Iran. Next, they'll probably start bombing Yemen again. There's still a war in Russia. They kidnapped the president of Venezuela. And maybe this stuff actually goes against the interests of the United States and the American people. But Larry Loomer is saying that, like, no, I fully am going to take credit for the fact that instead of focusing Trump on actually fixing any of these issues and course correcting and saving his legacy and saving more lives and stuff, he actually needs to direct his firepower at podcasters who are his friends, who have, millions and millions and millions of followers, who are the most beloved figures in American politics right now. #1 podcasts in the world, #1 YouTube shows in the world. And they literally got him elected. MAGA has been replaced. It used to be Marjorie, Tucker, Candace, not Megyn Kelly, Alex Jones. Now it's Laura Loomer, Mark Levin, Ben Shapiro, Randy Fine, and Benjamin Netanyahu, and John Fetterman, and Lindsey Graham. It's incredible. Larry Loomer. It also just goes without saying how absolutely terrifying it is that Larry Loomer, the person who is not allowed to legally own a firearm because it has mental health conditions and it was locked in an insane asylum, I believe, like once or twice. I could be wrong about the number, but I believe once or twice it was locked in an insane asylum. Not allowed to legally own a firearm. It tried to do bad things to itself, and now it is literally one of the most influential forces on the president of the United States. Larry Loomer. Larry who? Larry Loomer. You don't know Larry Loomer? Yeah. Crazy. Before you leave, I want to say thank you for the support, because after 2 years of being banned, we are finally back home on YouTube. So be sure to subscribe to our channel and also join as a member on our channel using the link at the top of the description. I rely on the generous support of viewers like yourself to get the truth out to as many people as possible. You can also support the show on Locals or Give Sin Go. The mainstream media and the powers that be are never going to stop attacking us for bringing the truth to as many people as we do. Thank you so much for your support.